Hola and welcome everybody to Free Wheel Station. We get like the normal camera panning across the drage system, the three different planets with their moons, and this we see the
Excuse me.
station, and then we see the station, and it's kind of this wheel shaped, and it looks like it's seen better days, but it looks better than it did. But and as the camera sort of flies underneath the structure, we see the wrench welded into the frame on a corner, where it was obviously being used to hold something together at some point, and come out on the other side, and we get the big Freewheel Station logo. Um, and we get like sort of the vertical wipe, and we come in on the shuttle. Would you guys ever name your shuttle? Did you guys name it?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
Well,
no.
yes, we didn't name your shuttle.
It's
Well,
very
It's
unusual
called
that we didn't.
shuttle.
But yeah.
It's called
yeah.
shuttle.
It's called
Well,
the shuttle.
for this,
Exactly.
for the time being, we just see the shuttle from behind, and we get like, and we kind of come into the inside of the forward cabin where you guys are all sitting at the controls as you're approaching, and you get a hail from the station. You get a message from the station.
We ignore it.
Awesome.
No, we don't ignore it.
Yeah.
Which
So
button turns the phone on? This one?
well,
I
you would
think
Right?
so.
know.
Okay, I pushed the button. Hello?
Yeah. So it's Colovian. It comes up on the screen, and she's kind of obviously standing in ops, and she's like, "Ah, bosses, I'm glad you're back. It's been eventful." She's like, there's a lot to get you caught up on. The things have kind of been happening. Um, the
This sounds like when you let Ninvis be in charge the last time. What did you do?
Oh no, it's not that. Actually, Ninvis has been surprisingly good, but no, it's just there's a lot. There's a kind of a lot, and we kind of needed your executive hands to deal with specific. Uh, there's things that
Well,
are above my pay grade. And she's like, uh,
well, considering if we die, you have the ultimate pay grade, then I'm surprised you let things get out of hand. Past that, we'll be there in what?
she's
Give
like,
us a calculation, Ninvis.
She's
I'm
like,
just kidding.
actually, the shuttle bay is done. I'll
Oh,
have them transmit you the protocols to land in the shuttle bay.
yeah.
I'll be down there to meet you. Oh, and Crinville is effectively on call right now, but he did mention that at your convenience he'd like to meet with you. Um, Other than that, I'll meet you in the shuttle bay.
Okay, we'll be there when we're supposed to. I turn to Korad and I'm like, Korad, surprise! We have a shuttle.
Oh, finally.
Yes. Now I
Yeah.
can work inside on this stupid thing.
So now we actually and like maybe we get like the docking is fairly simple procedure and whatnot, getting going in and whatnot. And maybe we get like the cinematic view of the shuttle, like making the coming in and then like making the turn and slowing down and coming in for that land. Um, and then we see like the sort of like um, the doors close after and whatnot, and the root like the shields go up, and there's over the door base areas, and
And it
they're
pressurizes.
pressurizes and out moving out into the area is Colovian. She's got a couple. She's got like maybe one person with her. It's not an Invis though. It's just somebody you don't even recognize. It's like maybe it's one of your like lower underlings. It's like
Devin.
yeah, he's just like but she's waiting for you guys to disembark. Um
I send a message to your comms that the door's stuck and it'll be a little while.
She acknowledges and stands there waiting.
All right. Kib, come here and help me with this. You beat on that corner.
I mean, the usual corner that we do to get this stupid thing to work. Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm beating on the other corner because it's stuck at 2 points this time. Hang on. Okay, I think we got it.
And you guys managed to get the door. And Kib, maybe that's a thing that you're like, you like in your mental note, like something you got to work on. You're like, yeah. So, Colovian waits for you guys to disembark, and as soon as when you get back down, she's get down the ramp. She's like, well, she goes, where to start? She goes, so you
Most people
remember?
start at the beginning, but you can start in the middle, and that would be kind of entertaining. But if you start at the end, you already give us the answer, and then you go back to the beginning. Sorry, my bad. I'll be quiet.
She just kind of looks at Kib confused for a minute, and then
That
she's
makes
like,
two of us.
and she's just like, and she goes, anyway, well, so you remember the patients? She looks at you, Kura, that you left in medbay. Well, it turns out the Knoll had a surprisingly efficient biological metabolism. He healed rather quickly. When he woke up, he was rather. I'm afraid I'm afraid the quarantine shielding in the med lab is down. I mean, we managed. We managed to. Well, he fought himself out when he took down the quarantine shields and passed out. Ninvis actually had the brilliant idea of keeping him under until sedated until we moved him to the brig, which we did. And it's a good thing that Tawny came back was there when he was released to pick him up because, well, there was a hell of a fight between the two of them, and let's just say none of our personnel could have handled him. He would have killed pretty much all of us. He was strong, savage. I don't that Captain
Did
Tawny.
you guys not start with the safety kit when it arrived? Not safety kit. We have the MK1 kit so that there's weapons where there need to be, and we're supposed to be going through training now.
Well, she's like, yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, even with training, even with better weapons, we would have been outclassed.
Okay.
She's like, there's our best option would have been to get out of his way and try to hope that he could find a ship to escape on. Which brings us to the matter that we're going to need to figure out some security arrangements as we have more people coming and dangerous clientele here. There are a few people who there are a few more people here than when you left. There's a couple dozen people that are paying rent on rooms at this point in time. Some are refugees, some are stowaways that got kicked off the ships they stowed away on. Others are drifters. There's been some issues in terms of regulation violations, except that there are no regulations. We've seen some graffiti in the lower levels. It's a matter that we'll debrief you on further. There is also the matter of the casino is almost completely finished. We just need someone to run. We just need someone to run the place. There's a number of organizations who would like to bid for the contract to run it. there is, and she kind of squints and she kind of scrunches her face up a little bit in kind of like a way that's even more please at this point. Please at this point. She's like, please tell me we'll stay on task, but there's aborts here now. I don't know how or why. There's just a bunch of credits that were delivered to us for a rent, and the place just set up shop. Um,
In the
uh,
spot where I put the sign, though, right?
she's like, not exactly. They
Did they put
set
up
up.
the space in my room? Did they really?
No, they set up in the lower levels.
In the lower levels. Ah, I see. That explains the graffiti.
Well, the graffiti is something entirely different, but we'll kind of get to that.
All right, let's just make it to the office so that I can take these boots off.
Yeah, and she's walking with. She turns to head in that direction. You know,
Okay.
um, and Kib, like to Kib, like she
Mm.
looks at you and she's like, "I'm assuming that you know more about the station than anyone. They've been having some trouble with some of the subsystems on the lower decks. There's been some problems with cameras and getting with power to the camera systems down there.
Hmm.
We were hoping that
Yeah,
had some
I
insight."
remember. Towards the end, before I got thrown in there, yeah, we had that little issue, and there's a trick to it. I'll go down there and I'll show them the trick.
Okay.
It's kind of a cool little trick. You just do. I got it. Yeah, this will be cool.
Ha!
All right.
Ha! I need you to take the isekai tunnels and do some spying for me downstairs, okay? Come back to me when you have a report. Good boy.
Yeah, and I think Kib, as you head off to the lower levels to work on the subsystems down there, maybe we get uh, as we're sort of walking down the hallways, we see that there's sort of like Grimbuckle, like maybe we're passing through like sort of the more commercial area where the casino is being built when this is going on. Like this is probably like Colovian probably took you guys by here just to sort of show you that the work in progress, and it's just sort of like that needs decoration and a management staff look to it, essentially. So it's but
What's
um,
I6 group again?
huh? The
I6
Grim,
group.
uh,
So it is Grimbuckle.
yeah, the Grimbuckle Syndicate,
Okay.
uh, like
Wouldn't that be
Crinville.
the person that has first dibs on running this? I
Uh,
mean, we owe him a favor anyway.
well, I believe
I
that may
said it,
be
Karad.
part. Should, yeah, Colovian holds up and looks and waits for Kurad's response to this.
Oh wait, Karad's in the middle of the hockey game.
Oh, it was like,
It's an intermission. They're gonna have to go to overtime anyways. We're okay.
Well,
Well,
he
no,
better not be a Tampa Bay fan.
he's not.
so. What is Kurad's response to this?
What was
Do I
it?
need to repeat it?
Yeah, please.
It's okay. Like I said, I realized that the hockey game was still on. I said, shouldn't I6 people have first dibs on running the casino? We already owe them a favor. This would help pay it back. And, I mean, at this point, for the 6 weeks that we've been stuck out here, they have helped us not go under. So,
I think that would be acceptable.
And
right?
I think Colovian nods, and she's like, "I have a feeling that was probably what Crinville wanted to talk to you about." And she's like, "Oh, and Evan Saval is on the station as well, or Evan Saval, sorry, wrong game, wrong character. Captain Percival Worthy is on the station and wants to and was at looking around for you.
Yeah, we'll see if we
I'm
can
not
put
sure
off
where he's
Percival
at.
for a little while.
I'm not sure where he's at right now or what his schedule is, but he seemed to uh, but he did say if you arrived that to let you know he was looking for you. And I think Kib, as you're walking away to go check out the lower levels, we get sort of in the crowd, because there is a crowd here, because there's enough people here that live here, and this is sort of a common area. So there's a lot of people sort of gawking at where the new casino is going to be. Maybe we get a figure in the background, like a shadowed figure, and we see and maybe we see uh, when they kind of move out away from the shadows a little bit, we see that the silhouette looks Kasathan, and we'll kind of and while Colovian and is talking to Kurad and and Philip. We kind of switch about the casino. We're going to switch focus for a second. So Death Arms, from your perspective, you've been waiting on this space station. You were waiting here. This this contract that you're on. You know that you knew your mark would come back here, and you knew your mark had new friends. Um, but those friends seem to be going in an opposite direction, and your mark seems to be headed right down to the lower levels. We get a physical description of Death Arms here.
Okay, so Death Arms is holding a little pistol on his hip. Then he has a sniper on his back, and then he has a combat knife on the opposite side of his pistol. And then he is big and red with a white and black shirt with a red scarf covering the lower half of his face.
All right, cool. So, yeah, you're seeing what is your reaction here? Your Mark's friends seem to be engaged in something entirely else, and your Mark is heading off by himself.
So he's like, finally, all right, let's go collect this gold or treasure, whatever.
Well, credits. Credits would be the currency here. Yeah. So you're looking, so you're basically, so you're going to kind of follow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're following. As we get so Kib, first of all, as you kind of get into start getting towards the lower levels, and it's kind of getting it's in that zone where the cameras aren't working, but you know that the problem lies deeper in, you're kind of heading towards where the junction where that the power conduits are probably fouled up, for the surveillance system and whatnot. And this is a point in time, point in area where you wouldn't expect to see anybody outside of maintenance crews, because last you knew there was nobody living in the residentials in this section just yet.
Yeah, Kib
mm,
probably doesn't have a clue what's going on, so he's just kind of normal hop skipping, going straight to where he knows where to fix it, and be like, "All right, let's get this going." It's gonna
so
be
let's
fun.
yeah, so let's get some checks here. Death Arms, I'm gonna need a stealth check from you, and Kib, I'm gonna need a perception check from you. Nice. So Death Arms, you're pretty at this point, like there's a couple of times you think that Kib might have noticed you. Like he seems more there are a couple of times where you're not sure if it's by happenstance or by him actually like really noticing or anything. He stops and kind of looks around. Which kind of like just because you know how to stealth and whatnot, you know when to take a pause and you're like, okay, there's a chance I could get seen. So it's kind of you haven't been able to close the distance to get a good you haven't been able to get close to him or get a good shot just yet lined up because he hasn't stopped moving and he seems to be taking like a number of like turns here and there. So setting anything up long range has been difficult. Um, go ahead and give me another perception check and another stealth check, Kib and Death Arms. Wow. Kib, you have managed while thinking about like what the problem is with the system, you have managed to take a wrong turn somewhere and you are not entirely certain um, which direction you need to go from here.
Wait a minute. This looks wrong. Where? I did it again. I made that wrong turn. 3. I. Dang it! How do I? Okay, so I gotta go back that way.
So,
Ah!
Death Arms, you have the opportunity to try to shoot down the hallway at Kib while he's trying to figure out which way to go. But you know that with very little cover, with very little cover in this sort of area, that it's going to be real difficult to get it back into hiding once you take that shot. The Kib's likely going to be aware one way or another. Do you take the shot yet or continue to follow?
I'll continue to follow for now.
All right. Kib, do you go straight? Do you go left? Do you go right? Or do you take one of your Isekai tunnels and try to figure out where you're going?
So he's standing there thinking about where did I take the. Hey, wait a minute. Why aren't I taking these things? That's why I built them. For pity's sakes. And I crawl right into it.
Yeah. So you you're muted. But there's a Death Arms. You see Kib turn around and look around, and he looks over at the wall, and he pulls a grate off and squirms into the grate and pulls it up behind him. Um, this tunnel, the passageway, the tunnel that he just went through, that you're like looks too small for you to follow through at this time.
Batman.
Am I able
So,
to stick my head in and figure out which way it turns?
give me a perception check. It's you're There's a couple of ways that it could turn just by looking at the structure of where like everything is, because it's pretty much at a crossroads. So it's not going to. It's probably going to go somewhere other than like a cross purpose from what you could get to with like going down the hallways. So it's likely that it could get that it turns up or down, or maybe some diagonal path. Do you have ranks in engineering?
Jester, it's time to go pick you up.
Huh, that's funny.
I do not have any ranks in engineering.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, do you have any ranks in computer?
Computer, no.
Okay. All right. So this one's going to be a straight up guess. Is you going to try to go, are you going to try to see if you can't find a passage that goes down and try to go down a level and see if you can find him there, go up a level, or are you going to try to figure out how to get diagonal from where all of this cross section is?
I think that I will go diagonal.
You're going to try to figure out how to. So you're going to have to backtrack for a ways. It takes you some backtracking because of where the tunnel is at. Give me a perception check. See if you can see where there are more entrances to this thing. So you see that there is a you see that you're starting to notice that there are more of these little hatches in various places. They're very clearly built for like smaller sized creatures. You're betting gnomes, halflings, and isekai are probably going to find themselves at home there, and really only a Raxolite would find it spacious. But um, from what you can tell, it looks like this stuff is meant to lead shortcuts from section to section. You don't seem to like looking around. It's kind of hard to tell if he's been through here. You're not seeing any sign that he has. None of the hatches look like they were removed in the last few minutes. So either hasn't come out this way yet, or considering the amount of backtracking you had to do and the distance you had to cover, it's much more likely that this is not the way he went. Because he should have been able to beat you to these next patches, and there should have been some sign that he'd been here.
Okay, so then I will. Yeah. I I'll go up. I'll try and figure a way to figure out if he has gone up.
All right. While you're doing that, Kib, which way? You would know that your problem lies farther down.
Yeah, he crawls into the little tunnel and is like, all right, this will be a faster way. I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place. Anyway,
But
go
there's
down.
still a large section to cover. So give me either a perception or an engineering check to see if you can't figure out where you need to be going. Ooh, damn. Yeah, you know exactly where you need to go. So you are making your way to I think let's cut back over to while you guys are kind of like picking around here. Let's cut back over to Kurad and Philip for a few minutes. So Philip, Kurad, you and Colovian, you two and Colovian have managed to make it to ops and make it to your office.
Yay!
So, and Colovian is like, would you? She was like, so what's the first thing on your agenda as far as what business you want to deal with first? Also, uh, do we just structurally? Some of the crew are wondering, do we call you councilwoman and councilman, boss, president, CEO, CFO, commander? There's a lot of different naming traditions, and I mean, some of them thought that it was more corporate based naming system for hierarchy, but I wasn't sure because I know you didn't always like the family businesses structure.
Huh.
And star bases like this are usually run by a commander, but you seem to be running as a council. So we just kind of wanted to know for clarity.
I don't know. Don Karad, how do you feel about all this? Unless, yeah. He's a rough day. There's so much that's gone on. We've been gone for like, what, 2.5 weeks, and you throw all this at us. And you think the first thing that's important is my name to the other people on the ship? Let's move on to something else. We'll get back to that.
As you like. What other
By the
piece?
way, I'd like to mention that you've done a very good job.
She's like,
Here's 100
yeah,
credits.
yeah. She's, yeah, she's pretty much. She's like, thank you. It's been. We have a lot more trade. We have, plenty of trade coming in. So far, we don't have a storefront or an office for such manners. We've temporarily instigated a tax on all deals that are made here between various ships, and there are definitely those that are trading with us directly. The people around here, the people that are living here, have the concerns of they'd like for some place to eat, some place where they can get something other than gravy fries, whatever those are. Uh, she's like
It's a
the
human convection.
that would explain it. And she's like, and she's like, however, that we are definitely going to need to do something about security, and our so far we were able to take on a few more employees. We're kind of shorthanded everywhere, so we were hoping maybe you might have some ideas on bringing in some talent, recruitment.
Well, normally this is exactly where I'd be like, well, why don't you see to that? And then I go, wait, no, I better see to that. You've already let refugees and villains on here while I've been gone. It's okay. It's what I told you to do. I'm glad you tried to run the ship to the best of your ability. So here's what's going to happen. We're back for a while. We will get all of this stuff done. And at this point, it's not actually your fault or problem. And good job at keeping Ninvis in line, because I know how hard that can be.
Well, Ninvis was the one who came up with the idea to keep the Null pirate sedated until we got him into a cell.
That's what you said.
And she was like, it was a surprisingly good idea from him. Kind of a little scary. And she was like,
Think he's been taken over by an alien organism, some sort of mold.
I'm not sure if that would be an improvement or not.
He
And she's
could be
like,
a clone.
she just shudders at that. She's like,
Better a clone than a
speaking,
replicant.
That's
speaking
true.
speaking of terror in the darkness of space, the graffiti. It's a complicated matter. The graffiti is, and she brings up like security images and stuff, and all stuff like, it's all stuff that says things like 999 is the cycle, and what is it? 1000 is beyond the spark, and there is a depiction. There's like a very crude depiction of a black skull and some sort of like black necromantic runes. Seem to be like the prevalent like imagery that are being there, that are being put up there on the wall and
Yeah.
whatnot. She goes,
Well, I would
no,
suggest that Korod do the necromantic mysticism role. But I got a 27 for culture. Does any of that look familiar?
well, it does not. And she says, but we do have someone on here who has. We talked to. There is a man that has been living here. Doesn't seem to be renting a room. Doesn't seem to have much money either. They call him Father Karef. He's a Borai.
Ah.
Some sort of.
When did
We
he arrive?
He arrived about a week ago.
Okay.
He's one of the heralds of Xiphus, the god of accidental death. Um, he's been preaching. He's been preaching some kind of prophecies, some kind of prophecies in the corridors. Most people don't pay him much mind, but there are some street kids and a few lowlifes that seem to have taken his words to heart. He himself claims he isn't here to instigate these sorts of things, only to prepare people for in warning to a great prophecy of something to come.
So the
Is
only person that is currently in the brig is the Knoll, correct?
Oh no, Captain Tawi came and picked him up.
Okay, I
There
missed
was
that
a
part.
She's like, there's a very interesting security footage of Tawi and the Knoll fighting. Knolls, you have to prove your dominance sometimes, and it was a tough fight, but Tawi outmaneuvered him. Like, she's like, but that's, she goes, this father Karef we questioned him, but we can't make heads or tails. He seems quite mad, um, but he really isn't encouraging anybody to do anything criminal. He just seems to be preaching some doom, some crazy doom prophecy.
Hmm.
Other people seem to be the bad actors. Matter of fact, he seemed to be rather less than pleased at the graffiti.
Well, this week, after we get all these matters that you've come up with sorted, we're going to do some, well, we've hit a point where I think we can get a few more people, at least one or two, to come help us and actually be able to pay them. So we're going to try to get some people today. What do they call that? Recruitment, I believe.
Yep.
And if that goes well, at least one of your concerns will be taken care of.
All right.
As for this priest, let's see if we can give him a soapbox that's always on camera, so we can keep track of him there. Assign him a room, and make sure that we have a camera there. And if any of his people are, well, his so-called followers are caught with the materials to make graffiti, throw them in the brig, and we'll deal with them there. Apparently, because we have started doing a coming up, we need to set a bunch of rules aside. The number one of which, of course, will be if you bring androids on this station, they are free. And that will be rule number one.
And she's like, she like the computer's like right in front of you. She's standing on the other side of the desk from you. And
Oh,
Kurad, I don't know if you're standing on the where you're at in the office, but she's standing on the. She's not behind the desk with you. She's standing on the other
right.
side.
Well, she had her tablet. That was how she was telling us everything that was wrong, right?
Well, yeah, she had her tablet, but
All right.
like uh like she if you want her to start taking this down, you might want to tell her because she's nodding
She's still frazzled.
emphatically. Yeah,
Okay.
she's nodding emphatically, agreeing with you about like setting down rules and stuff like that. So,
All right. So, uh, go ahead and write this down there.
okay,
We'll make
she's
copies later.
yeah, she takes out her like electrolyte stylus and
All right.
sets it and like starts doing the thing.
When the dispensary opens, all drug deals will be made through the dispensary on ship. Those being found doing contraband sales elsewhere will be fed to the corpse recycler. Anyone cheating in the casino will be fed to the corpse recycler. If you are renting from us, once per month we will inspect your quarters. And if you are found to be gross, you will be kicked out and or fed to the corpse recycler. That sounds good for your starter. Let's
Like,
see. Oh, I know what happened. Karad got sent to the thing because the goblin's still asleep, right?
well, the kobold's already
Oh, the
gone.
kobold's already gone. All right, so both people are
Yeah,
gone.
yeah, both of them are gone.
So you said
But
that the Null fought his way out of the medbay?
well, the Knoll destroyed the quarantine force field. In
Okay.
like he and like apparently he had enough strength to do that before he passed back out, and that's when that's when Ninvis like grabbed a syringe and like injected him with sedative and was like, we need to move him somewhere where he can't get out of.
Yeah,
Like,
but as far as it goes, we can start with those rules.
and she's
Um,
like,
but yeah, make the main rule that's outlined in red will be fed to the corpse recycler. We don't put up with shit here.
she nods and she's like, would you like to speak to this Father Karef?
If there is a non-busy Korad, then yes. But if Korad is still indisposed, then he can wait.
No,
I think the Mystic
I-
is.
I'm
Oh, there you
fine.
are. Okay. I was going to say, I think the Mystic should speak to the Mystic, so to speak. Korad, did you have any other rules you wanted to add to her list before she goes?
No, those sounded quite fine.
Okay. Also, fuck, I forgot her name. Colovian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Colovian, take the next 2 days off. Starting after you get this list done.
She's like, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And
But send me Ninvis because apparently I'll need him if I've given you the days off.
I will do that. And she
Alright.
like,
Don't forget your credits; they're right there.
yeah, she takes the credits and she's she unsure what to do as far as salute or proper. She just sort of like backs out, nodding.
Okay, Karab, now that you're back, do you want to be a Don, or do you just want them to call us council members? They want titles because apparently titles are important in the middle of nowhere.
They can just call me Doctor.
Okay. And I guess they can call me Councilwoman. I mean, maybe that will make them feel better, so it feels like there's some sort of hierarchy that isn't just us making commands. I mean, it's our space station, so. And if somebody doesn't like that, we'll feed them to the corpse recycler too. In fact, hello, crazy preacher guy. Follow me this way. If you could step up on this ladder and just look in this hole real quick, push. Aw, he was only level 1. Sorry. No, we'll talk to that guy in a little bit. But as far as it goes, I'm sure there's much more that needs done.
Yeah.
Karad, they said they destroyed your shield or your shielding in the med bay. Let's go down there and I'll fix that for you while you check and see if anything else was destroyed, disrupted, or stolen.
They should have just thrown him in the corpse recycler once he was knocked out. But okay.
I know, but we're still trying to make friends. And honestly, remember we're Tin Can in space. Their guns clearly outmatched us. Even if we caught them surprise round, they'd probably just blow holes through us and destroy everything. So.
Now let's go
All right.
check out the damage.
All right. Oh, wait. While we're doing that, we send a message to not Elgas. Why do I keep saying Elgas? Isaac's brother.
Crenville. Yep.
Yeah, to meet us in the med bay so we can deal with that at the same time.
All right. Yeah. And so, and we'll switch back over here.
Yeah, it'll take us a minute.
You have searched this level and found no trace of your target. So that leaves only one way to go.
Yep. Down we go.
All right.
To the bottom pits of hell.
Yeah, so you are kind of getting deeper into the station. You know, and that open contract, you know, seemed like decent money. And this guy and this Kib, if it weren't for taking those tunnels, was actually kind of making it easy until he took that turn. But you've managed to get down to the levels and you're kind of wandering around. Kib, you have managed to find the juncture that you needed to find to do some repair work. The damage is a little bit more extensive than you thought. You can get the systems partially running. You can get lights on, and you can get a limited amount of cameras on, patchwork, but you can't connect it into the rest of the system until you go to a spot back up on the upper level. But you do have some functionality here.
Yeah, so I go to the junction and I would do what I can here and be like, well,
so
that works for now.
give me an engineering check here. All right. Yeah, you've got a certain amount of let's say you've got a certain amount of you've got a certain amount of ability. You've got things sort of patched up pretty well for the time being. You have the ability, like where you're at, you have the ability to pull up the screen to see what like the cameras in the immediate vicinity are showing. But you, of course, you like obviously you can't patch
I
up
would-
to your command.
I could pull out. after I fix it, I'm gonna pull up each of the things and just casually look through each camera that they're functioning, like cycle through to make sure that they're actually doing what they're supposed to. Not really caring, just kind of, okay, yep, that's an image. Yep, that's an image. Oh, that one doesn't have an image. Gotta mark that one. Okay, that one's
All
working.
right. Death arms. I'm gonna need you to give me a stealth check, and Kib give me a perception check. But I'm gonna give you a +2 on your perception check because you got the cameras working. Not good enough. So yeah, you're the like the and death arms. Give me a perception check as well. So you can't say for sure, but you thought you saw one of the cameras start moving, um, like in the hall, in the corridor. Like you turned around and it looked like it was just, it kind of out of the corner of your eye, looked like it was just finishing the movement of a swivel and stops, but you didn't fully see it. It was something out of the corner of your eye. So, um, something's going on here. None of these other cameras have seemed to have worked up at this point, and the lights come back on. So the darkened corridor lights back up. It's not floodlight light, but it's lit up well enough. How are you going to react to this situation? Clearly, somebody is doing something somewhere.
I'm going to stay calm, but just like cautiously before I go crossing an intersection, look like hug a corner and look,
Mm-hmm.
and then like if it's safe enough, I will cross as fast as possible, but still being quiet.
All right. So maybe we see you doing like the roadie run across an intersection after scoping to make sure the cameras weren't swiveling around to look at you or anything, staying out of view. Um, I think you start to hear voices coming from one of the side corridors, and you can't really quite make out what they're saying, but it sounds like somebody is walking, uh, at least a pair of people are walking around talking in these corridors somewhere.
I'm going to try to sneak into a room, the nearest room.
Okay. All right. So the door to the room itself is locked. You're going to need to, you don't have engineering or computer, so you're going to have to try to force the door, which
Okay.
means if you're going to do that, I need a strength check. Yeah, you go to try to, like, you put your shoulder into it, like you slam your shoulder into it, and the door feels fairly solid. And your shoulder's a little bit sore. Like you try to grab for the edge, like for any ridge or edge on the door, and try to pull it apart open, and that doesn't seem to work either. And you hear voices, like the more you look around and hear, like you're hearing these voices and movement, you're not sure if they're actually coming from the corridors themselves or the tunnels through this place. But you do see down the hallway, like one that you do see down the hallway, like like of course there's the doors on either sides. You see the doorway to a cargo bay. Like you know it's a cargo bay because it's clearly got a wider frame on it. Like, you know, like the kind of frame you would have on something where lots of freight in and out of.
I'm gonna see if I can make it to that.
All right. So go ahead and creeping along. Give me another stealth check. Kib, give me another perception check. Ooh, you're sneaky. And Kib, you are oblivious. You are really oblivious.
He is focused on his job of fixing these cameras and lights and stuff. And then
Yeah.
oh, this isn't going to connect to the whole network. Man, I gotta go back upstairs. Oh well, it'll be fun.
All right. So you are. Give me a computers check, Kib. Oh. So, Kib, you've detected like as you're sort of like plugged into the system, you don't see it on camera, but it like different motion sensors that are mostly have been non-functioning. Like there's one out of every 3 to 4 motion sensors that were ever put in that haven't been stripped out of this place actually work. But there were a couple of things that tripped these motion sensors. One tripped a motion sensor in in one of your tunnels going out into a cargo bay.
I swear.
And
Okay, I remember that one person saying something about if they're desecrating my walls and putting their little pictures on it, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna go have a word with them.
but
Let's
there is
go find them.
but there is another motion sensor down the hall from the cargo bay that has also been tripped. But you can't find anything on the security footage right now to find out what it is. So you've got potentially you've got potentially 2, 3, people down here somewhere by this cargo bay.
All right. The cameras don't work over there. I guess I have to meet them face to face.
All
Hopefully,
right,
they're going to keep this working. Maybe there are people that work here, and I could just be like, okay, so we got so and so working, and we got this going. Yeah, this will be fine. I'll go talk to him. All right, everything's secure. Put the screw in there. That'll be fine, and let's go.
all right. So you're heading in that direction. I think um, the first thing that you, Death Arms, will get there first, and I want to get you get inside this thing, this cargo bay, and you can tell right away as soon as you get in that something's going on with the system in here. Because as soon as you go in, like the door closes behind you, opens back up about halfway, looks stuck for a minute, about a half a second, and then closes back and uh, and then just makes this really weird, and then just makes a very weird buzzing sound from the door panel. But that's not the only thing, because as you look up, you see a couple of kids. One of them is a Kasathan child, and one of them is a human child, and they're both of them up there dressed in sort of shitty rags. You've seen stuff like this before. spacer kids. They drift from station to station. They stow away on ships. They're the space lane's equivalent of street kids. Is sort of like what it looks like. But they're up on one of the upper, like they're up on an upper level, like a sort of like a raised platform area, and they seem to be messing with something. And you can hear one of them saying, "Man, I told you this was a bad idea. Nah, man, nah. It was said this was going to be this program would help us take control of this area. It'd be cool. We'll have our own section." It's like, nah, nah. You can kind of see these kids, up there. They don't seem to have noticed you yet, but they seem to be arguing. One of them is at the computer. One of them is at a console station, and he seems to and he and he's trying seems to be pulling on something on the console, like he's trying to pull something out, um, like maybe a chip or a card or something. While the other one is complaining to him, about this is like complaining to him that no, this is that we should this is this was the plan, this was the plan, we were gonna do, you know yeah, there's I mean it's not as clean as we expected, but there's always going to be a hitch. And the other kid's like, man, I got to get this thing off of here. It's not gonna I mean We're not going to be able to get out of here. What is it doing? It's like and these kids are kind of sitting there, um doing this. And Kib, I think this is where you enter from a tunnel on like one of the walkways that are sort of alongside of the wall. There's a walkway that kind of, um, like the raised platform the kids are on, like there's a, sort of like is on the other side of like the cargo bay from where you're at, but you can see them almost immediately as you walk in the room. Um, and you can see that, give me an engineering check here, because you're walking into a room and you kind of know something. You can immediately tell that there's something going on. You don't know what exactly yet, but the door is making a buzzing sound, and seems to be stuck closed. Like the way that the motors are supposed to the motors and the whatever are supposed to run, and that sounds like the door trying to open but not being able to. Um, so, but looking around, um, you can see a number of things kind of going on here. And for Death Arms, you see your mark. Your mark, like comes out of a tunnel on the opposite side of the room, on a walkway on the opposite side of the cargo bay from where the kids are at.
Well, when Kib gets out and looks around, he's gonna be like, "Great, more things to add to my list of things. Wonderful. First off, what the fart are you two doing?"
Soul Demon, how are you responding? Are you kind of waiting to see? Are you gonna take a shot? Are you gonna do something else? What's your?
I'm going to pull my knife off my hip, and I'm assuming if there are boxes in the middle of the room, right?
There's a few crates in here. Both Kib and these kids are on like raised walkways from where you're at. I mean, there's ladders you can climb up to where they're at. Um, but it is one
Okay.
obstacle.
I'm going to wait underneath the platform that Kib's on.
Jester, I stopped being able to hear you.
Oh, sorry.
There you are.
Apparently, I bumped the button, the mute button. All right, so you take up your position waiting, and Kib, you are at the moment that you're like, what are you two doing? Like the kids turn around, they look at you, and a human kid who is the human kid who's standing who's standing there like uh, who's just standing there, not sort of talking, looks up and goes, ah, shit. And the other kid and the kid's like that's got that's yanking on something, drops what he's doing, and he drops what he's doing, the Kasathan kid, and turns around and he's like, "Oh man, we're in trouble now." The and this is about the time that like the cargo bay doors start opening, like the loading doors start opening up, and the shield, you Kib, see the containment shield that keeps the air and pressure in, starting to flicker, and as it flickers, the vacuum starts making hard tugs on everything on everything in the that's not nailed down in the room.
Oh, shit. Okay, so seeing that happen, he's like, "What the?" Starts running over there, cussing the whole way. Like, God damn it! More
Well,
things I gotta fix without dying.
first things first, I need reflex saves for you and Death Arms both, because the first surge of vacuum will threaten. This reflex save is to see if you can grab onto something to avoid being pulled closer to the cargo bay doors. Okay. So the kids, let's see. Ooh. One of the kids manages to hang on. The Kasathan kid manages to grab the side of the console he was trying to the side of the console he was trying to tear apart. His human friend, however, um, is yanked off of the platform and yanked is yanked towards the cargo bay doors as the engine as they're sort of flickering, as the shield is losing integrity. Kib, you know if the shield loses integrity, it's game over for all of you. And Death Arms, you know damn good and well that kid's not going to be able to save himself from being spiraling out into the unknown abyss. And there's no way that your mark is going to be able to get to him in time. Um, he's supposedly a good engineer, but there's you were managed to able to get a hold of the deal, but um, this kid's not going to be able to save himself if no one intervenes.
You're gonna be in trouble. You could hold. And I rush over to the console and try to backtrack what they did.
All right, so I'm going to need a computer's check from you. Death Arms, are you going to are you going to hold position? Are you going to try to help the kid? Are you going to try to the human kid, or try to um, are you going to try to find an alternate means of escape? What are you up to here?
I'm going to see if I can save the Kasathan while still maintaining hidden from Kib.
Well, the Kasathan has a grip on the console. He's not going anywhere just yet. The human kid's the one that's and he's still up. The Kasathan kid's still up on the walkway. The raised platform walkway he was on. The human kid got pulled off of the walkway and landed with a thump on the floor and is kind of slowly being drawn towards the cargo bay doors.
Yeah, I'll save the human.
All right. Do you have athletics or acrobatics?
Yes, I do.
All right. Which one is better for you?
Athletics.
Give me an athletics check. All right, you're able to get closer without being sucked in. So let's get another another computers check from Kib. And Kib, what's going on here? It's very clear to you this is a computer virus. Whatever those kids were doing, they somehow infected the thing with a computer virus.
So I got to trace down the virus itself, get rid of it, and get rid of any tags it's associated with other files. Great.
Right. So be but the virus is wreaking havoc on the systems here, with the potential of that if it spreads to the rest of the system causing a lot more problems. Um, you um, you actually see a Kasathan, adult Kasathan, with armed, that you didn't notice was even in the room, the cargo bay before now, like sort of like how exactly are you working your way towards saving this kid? I'm assuming with athletics you're kind of using more of a strength-based approach. What does this look like? Is this a matter of you've stabbed a knife in the into the ground and holding onto it and using your other hand to grab the kid? Are you climbing hand over hand across the sort of projections on the walls to get to the kid and like anchor yourself and him to the wall? What does this look like?
Um, like you said, I'm stabbing my knife into the ground so that it is a quicker path for me to get to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, once I get to the kid, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that is by the ladder for the other platform, I'm going to grab the kid and hold on for dear life to that ladder.
Awesome. Yeah. So you see this adult Kasathan grab this kid. He uses his knife to brace it. Like maybe he slides a little bit, stabs his knife into the like deck paneling, slides a little bit more, stabs it in again. Until he gets down to where this kid is, and grabs him and with one arm and grabs onto the stairway railing with the other, and just sort of and maybe he's got two hands on one hand still on the knife that stabbed into the ground, one on the stairway railing, and and the other two wrapped around this kid. But you didn't even know this guy was here to begin with.
So as I'm working on trying to isolate the virus and get it out, I'm gonna try to hit my comms unit to get the other two, and it statics out or something. I was like, you're messing up even more.
Yeah, okay. So go ahead and you give me another computers check, and Death Arms give me a strength check or an athletics check, whichever works better for you. Actually, we'll go with athletics. I'm sure it's better than just a raw strength check. Ooh. Yeah, Kib, that virus is pernicious, is rather pernicious right now. You're having a hard time isolating it and getting it under control. Um, uh, Death Arms, you see Kib up there at a console, like working away frantically. He's he's got the fucking panel. He's got a panel ripped off. He's got like a console in front of him. He's got his toolkit out, and he is just braced against braced himself up to where he can just. And he is frantically working on that. But give me your athletics check. Oh, you did 10. You are barely holding on. You can feel the pressure, man. Like it is sucking on you hard. Um, let's get you. You take. Oops. R1D6. You take 5 points of damage to your stamina as the not just like being pulled, not just a vacuum of space pulling at you, but like other things like the other crates and stuff flying and smaller debris, smaller flying past you and smacking you on your arms and your head as you're holding on, trying not to get sucked out into space. Kib, give me another computers roll. So you've managed to get it. You've managed to get it somewhat isolated, but you're still going to have to put in a little bit more work. Give me another athletics check. Death Arms, you managed to. You're holding on here. You feel a little bit more stable than you did a minute ago, but you can still feel the pressure. The kid is crying at this point. Like you can barely hear it from all of the rushing of the wind and the debris flying and what have you. But the kid he's terrified.
Yeah.
But but you've got him so far. Kib, give me another computer check here. Oof. Yeah, it is. It is like starting to. It is starting to get kind of like difficult. Philip, Kurad, you get what like the Kib's comm number comes up on your comms, but all you get like is a crackle and some interference.
Do you think he's in trouble?
Or he just butt dialed us, but out of curiosity,
Hmm.
let's see if we can find him.
Well, you know what section where the surveillance was out on, because it was part of the reports that you were given.
Hmm.
It doesn't seem to be anywhere. You don't seem to be seeing him anywhere on regular surveillance footage, but
Well, I was hoping I was tracking his comm unit at that point. But an 18 is pretty low, I agree.
actually, it's good enough to determine one thing. Like you
What's
can't
that?
track the comm unit, but you can't. But there is a cargo bay that is seeing some serious malfunction issues in the lower levels, down where the security cameras are out.
Fine. Do we still have that repelling equipment in your room?
um,
You want to go check it out? See if we have to put them back together, if we just put them in the corpse recycler?
but
Okay.
Fine. Ha! I get on my comm. Ha! Meet us in. Well, go to Isekai Tunnel 27A64 and meet
all
us
right,
there.
yeah. So yeah, and Death Arms, let's get an athletics check from you here.
You can do it. Be strong. Up, you dead.
Ooh, you slide a bit forward. You lose your grip on the. The stairway, the ladder railing, but and slide a bit. You still have your knife buried in. Um, Kib, give me another computer check here. Hey, give me another one. Because you can see ooh, That's good. So just as you see this Kasathan like lose his grip on the ladder and start sliding forward, you knuckle down and you manage to get like the problem mostly and you manage to get like the find the virus and lock it down. You just need an engineering check to get the shields back up and get the bay door to close. The shields are holding for now. See if you can get the bay door up. You get the bay doors to close.
I leave them closed.
All right. You, Death Arms, are no longer in danger of flying out into space. However, there is still the matter of repressurizing the room and getting the shields back up. I'm going to need. Give me some fortitude saves. Everybody in the room. Gib, it's going to be a little hard to concentrate here, but Death Arms, can we get a fortitude save from me here?
Hey, 1 second for me to find it.
It's on the right side of the character sheet.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, for now, you're doing okay. You can both of you are wearing your armor. You're doing well enough that you have time to engage your life support systems.
Engage automatically.
The kids, the kids, their life support, or the kids don't have armor on, so they're not going to have life support. So, Kib, you need to hit an engineering check to get the shields back up and get the room and repressurize the room. The repressurization won't take a check, just getting the shields back up though.
So we push that. That should do it. Yes, maybe.
Yeah, you get the shields back up. The shields get back up, and you're able to repressurize the room.
So after
Death,
everything's taken care of, I look over at the Kasathan kid and be like, "You don't move, don't touch nothing. I'm gonna go talk to your dad."
and he looks around awkwardly. He's like, I'm an orphan, and the human kid is still crying because he's completely traumatized at this point. they they were in over their head apparently.
Is this about the time that we arrived?
Yeah, you guys managed to have isolated and arrived. The door is still stuck shut to the cargo bay, but that's a matter of engineering or computer's check.
As I walk back down, I'm gonna try the comms again and still get whatever thing's causing issues in this area for that not to reach out.
Is
Right.
26 good enough to open the door?
It's gonna take you a minute, but yes. Death Arms, you and Kib have a moment here to react to each other because Kib, you just saw this guy you didn't even know was in the room save this kid from being sucked out into space. And Death Arms, you have to admit that if Kib hadn't have shown up in that room, you and the kids would have both been done for because you did not have the skills to do this, and they clearly didn't either. So this is the moment. Yeah. So you guys have a moment to
I'm
talk.
gonna come down and be like, "Hi, He's an orphan, so you're not. Hi, what's up? Think, well, you saved one person. I saved everybody. But hi, how did you all get in here? First of all, these kids are getting in trouble. But you, how did everybody get in here?
First off, you're my target, and I've been following you for a while.
Target. Dude, everybody wants to target me. Join the club. Can you be more specific?
There's a bounty on you, and I'm collecting you for credit.
They finally got up a year later. Well, a year and 2 months later. Y'all are slow. I'll pick the perfect spot. But whatever. You're gonna take me where? Nowhere. Because this is my station. Mine. You can't take me anywhere.
Oh, please. You think that a short person can stop me? Please.
Oh, I could push like 2 buttons and you're gonna be back out that shield. But yeah, sure.
I could kill you faster than you can press the 2 buttons.
And
But then how would you get the money if you killed me? Seriously? Would you get any money for a dead person?
I don't know. What, you want to find out?
I don't know.
so
What's the exact order? Dead or
so
alive or alive?
so Death Arms, this is kind of where you run into the territory. Like the Savage Circle had been, put out this open bounty on Kib. And your understanding from, the people, other bounty hunters that were trying to take on the job was that the notion was that the members of the Savage Circle thought that Kib had been a traitor when when their friend Captain Joth Hurlig was kicked out of the station and or killed when these people took over the station. They thought that like the reason that there's a bounty on him is that they believe him to be a turncoat, which you know you wouldn't know one way or the other. You just know what they think. But um, so yeah, and maybe this is a good setup for the flashback scene for Kib on when he joined Captain Joth Hurlig and his crew here on the space station.
So we go back to the thing where it's like long time ago and it has this beautiful station that's fully put together and looks great and this ship comes in and he lands in the cargo bay and Cave kind of pops out and meets the captain and they're all like, so you need a person to make sure this place stays together, right?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what the ad said.
Okay, I'll do it.
Is
Let's do this. This will be fun. It'll look good. It'll stay maintained and clean. Everything will work just fine. I'm awesome at what I do.
he Captain Joth Hurlig, like his like the other pirates around sort of laugh, and he looks at you and he goes, well, we'll see. He goes, we'll see. And he kind of looks at and one of the other pirates kind of like leans in and sneers like big vest. He's like, look, half pint, I give it about 2 days before you piss us off enough that the captain lets me eat you. And Hurlig looks at him and just sort of like looks at him, glares at him for a second, and says, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. You make any more aspirations as to what you think I'm going to do. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, so, only thing we ask here, you do your job right and you stay loyal. Because
That's the best thing on that. Loyalty is my like top thing. doing what I'm supposed to? Yeah, I'll do it my way. It'll get done, but may not be as clean as possible. Yeah, it'll get done. We got this. Yeah, it'll be done
It's like,
nicely. Yeah,
hey,
loyalty's a tough thing. I got that. Oh,
yeah. He's like, yeah, just see that you don't turn on me. He goes, he says, probably won't let him eat you, but I might let him eat you. And he points to like he points to like a hobgoblin mercenary that's standing next to him, who just chuckles. He's like, uh, he's like, and he kind of like leans down, like crouches down to be eye level. And he's like, you hear me? Always remain loyal. We always
yes,
stick
sir.
together. He goes,
Always. Yeah, sure. Yes. Yeah, I eat food. I'm kind of hungry. But yeah,
and then
loyalty. Let's get some things fixed. We got this.
yeah, I think the rest of the crew laughs, and we kind of come back to like, unless you have more for that.
No, that was about it.
Okay, yeah. So we come back and we come back to the present, like you remembering, like, the like Joth, the like coming onto the station and meeting Commander Hurlig for the first time, and like sort of your first interaction. Um, and I think Philip, this is probably about the time that you and Kurad get in here. And you see that there's a Kasathan child trying to look about as small and out of the way as he can. He seems to be trying to sneak away towards one of the tunnels out. There's a human child that is kind of sitting on the floor bawling. There's a adult Kasathan you don't recognize, armed to the teeth, seems to be arguing with Kib, um, and whatnot. As you guys walk in.
Oh, Kurad looks at the Kasatha kid trying to sneak away and say, I don't think so.
You are muted.
I am?
Can you guys hear me now?
There you are.
There
There
you
you
are.
are. Okay.
And right about the same time you say that, a very loud hog goes, bam, right into that panel, and then it drops down, and you see Ha holding his little gun, and you hear, ah, 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 ah.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. So Death Arms, like the other two, like these other two people come into the room. Like, what is your move here?
Oh, look, it's now 3-1.
First, secure the door. Nobody's
Well,
getting out. Nobody's trying to go out the Yusakai tunnel right now because they'll get shot by Ha.
yeah,
At
I
point blank range.
had it locked, but you decided to make your way in here. But hey, that's cool.
Yeah, we were getting readings up top that your dumbass had fucking lost shields and was leaking air out into space. We thought honestly we were going to come into a room that was empty and find your corpse later and put it in the recycler.
Oh, no,
Now,
no, 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 no. I
why does this kid
survived.
Soften and his son have a human child?
He is not
Oh,
my son.
that's an orphan. I thought that too. I thought it too. I told that to the little, because I was a child. He's like, I'm an orphan. I was like, all right. So apparently this dude wants me dead
Okay,
for some reason.
that's
The
not
adult one.
unusual.
Well, you
I
guys
mean,
have
it's a
wanted
stand
to
in
throw me.
line for that one.
That's what I
That's
told
true.
him. I said, join the list.
All right, hang on. First of all, if we're going to do this, I need silence. So let's try this. Hello, little boy. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the kid looks at you and he's like, he looks at you. He's like, and he's rather
I,
stunned
I,
into silence.
I,
He's stunned into
I said it
silence.
in a way that was very kind, but
Right.
also very direct.
Yeah. But he's also stunned into silence by the fact that, like, you're
There's an 8 foot tall bald woman yelling at him in a nice voice. Yeah.
who also happens to be one of the people who run the station.
Yeah.
Like,
Then I get on my comms and I go, Ninvis, bring a security detail down here. We have 2 runaways. All right, now back to you, Big Kasathan, who's not the father. We'll do a DNA test later and see if that's true.
I am not the father, for the love of Christ. Stop saying I'm the father.
I don't know of this Christ that you speak of, but okay. Now, if you're a bounty hunter, do you have your credentials?
Obviously. What bounty hunter wouldn't?
A dumb one, but that's why I'm asking you. Do you have your credentials? Because you're on my space station and you didn't check in with my security or us, which is common protocol to make sure that you don't get shot by security while apprehending anyone that's on my ship on your list.
Please. Security won't even be able to touch me.
I don't care how badass you are. You could be a god for all I care. You're still supposed to check in according to protocol, otherwise you can lose your license.
as far as you know,
Oh wait,
he's
hang on.
actually. As far as you know, she's got it.
Yay!
Yeah, she has a point. If she reported you to any respectable bounty hunting guild, let alone the ones that you got your credentials from, it could ruin your career. Like, she does have a point there.
All right, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it, just so you know. This is just what I sound like when I'm on board my space station. I sound kind of bitchy.
Well, she's that way on the planet too. It's kind of fun, but she's awesome.
Aww. See, this is how you stay out of the corpse recycler today, kid. Secondly, who is supplying you with the money for the bounty in the first place, and how much is the bounty? Please and thank you. I'm still rolling off that natural 20.
I was gonna
So,
say, who wants me? That's a very
And
good question.
besides,
For us,
if you're here for him, you're really probably missing out. I assume there's at least one core for me and this one here.
Yeah, I was only sent here to get the shorty. His old boss wants him.
That guy. Okay, but once again, how much is Shorty worth?
he was actually worth it. Like, the bounty on him was going to be about 6,000.
Holy crap. We shoot the Kasathan and we take Kib to the pirates.
All right, you make 6,000 credits.
All right, end of game. Everybody, it was a good night.
all right, time to make new characters. Got it.
No.
Um,
Holy crap! Because I don't have 6,000 to just pay this guy off. That's the whole reason that I'm like, well, fuck.
Well, you, yeah, as far as it goes, the Savage Circle were never directly your boss, Kib, but Joth Hurlig had a connection to them, but Joth Hurlig had a connection to the Savage Circle. So, being that his fate is unknown, it's entirely possible that he might have something to do with the bounty, or it might just as easily be the rest of somebody else in the circle that considered him a close enough friend or ally, who had some reason.
Wait,
Do you have anything to add to this? Because honestly, it's 6,000 credits. It's really almost worth giving them to him, taking the money, and then deciding if we want to be bored enough to try and bust him out before they kill him.
but I know.
Sounds interesting.
If it's about the previous boss, I have a clue that it has to. Like, when I first met the dude, he was kind of weird. He was going to feed me to.
A hobgoblin.
Yeah, that was one of them. The other one wanted to be. Anyway, their biggest thing was loyalty. So did they forget they locked me in the brig or something? I don't know. They're not very bright, apparently. But I wonder if it has to do with that. It could be loyalty thingies and be like, oh, I
wait,
was a traitor type thing.
because I do have meta knowledge, or not meta knowledge. It's probably over that black book you know about.
Oh,
And that's why it's $6,000. Because, Kib, you've been a wonderful assistant as a mechanic. But as far as it goes, I would not pay $6,000 for you. I would sell you for $6,000. Sorry, 6,000 credits. But at this point, we don't have that kind of money to be like, all right, here, take this money and go away. Or take this money and. What do you do besides bounty hunt? Do you have any skills?
he saves the little children. He did
Wait,
that.
it's going to take a whole week for this if I try this, right?
Try for what?
To recruit this guy.
Oh, well, no, he's a
I
player.
realized he's a PC, but I wanted to make
So-
sure that I wasn't going to have to try to do it that way.
No,
I mean,
the downtime activity is for recruiting your NPCs. For if you're trying to recruit him, you just need to make the pitch. So,
Okay.
you know,
so about this time, I would assume that the two dudes and Ninvas show up for the children.
yeah.
Okay. As soon as they walk in, I say, Nimbus, put the gun down. We are in the middle of something.
Ninvis actually somewhat undermines that your security team could handle this guy in the sense that he just kind of Ninvis looks like he's trying too hard when he comes in. He's totally got his pistol on, but it's like backwards in the holster or something, and he's just like when he comes in, he's and like it's like he did this in a hurry, and he comes in, he's like, "All right, men, you take up position over there.
And it says,
You
stop.
take up position," and they're totally dumb positions you wouldn't take if you were strategically trying to take this room. And they're just like,
Attention on deck. Everyone that came with Nimbus, put up your gun. We're in the middle of something. Nimbus, take these two urchins to the brig, feed them, and find something that fits better than these rags that they have on them. And then, if they refuse to, bathe them by hand yourself.
Ninvis is like, "Oh, okay, boss." He's
All
like, fucking.
Thank you very much. You may go.
Yeah, he gives you as he's leaving, as like the security guys collect the kids and go out. He's the last one out, and as he is the last one out, he kind of gives you the finger guns as he's like, "Yeah."
Okay. Now, back to you, Bounty Hunter. I apologize for that short interlude, but the children were too much. I mean, there's a reason I'm not a mother. Now, is there something we could do for you, or perhaps to you, that would make you not want to take this guy?
Well, you could either
Because
give me the
of-
6,000.
Right? Or I could give you upgrades.
Like what?
What do you want? We specialize in necrographs here.
First off, I want a better pistol, better sniper, better knife. I want more tools.
Interesting. Well, out of character. Soul Demon, what level is your gun?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay,
I don't know this Christ that you speak of, but there are several other gods that are way closer to. Try Triune.
yeah. Whatever. Okay, so how do we figure out the level of the weapon?
Tell me what the name of your weapon is.
It is a Sonic Pistol Thunder.
Okay, so I think you're actually caught up on level. That sounds like level 4, if I remember right.
I thought it was like a level 2.
Let me see.
Thunder Sonic Pistol.
The level 4. The Sonic Pistol Thunder Strike is a level 4.
Is it? Okay. Then I must be
See,
thinking of something
I
else.
thought so because for a while everyone on Fire Strike had sonic
Yeah.
pistols.
I can't
We
remember
made
what
noise.
the sniper rifle was, but I think that's a level 2, if I remember right.
Right, well, if that's the case, I can't help you with your pistol, but I can modify your gun. Uh, or sorry, your sniper rifle. If that's something, but that's not going to be 6,000 worth of credits. So what I think we are right now is at an impasse, and um,
Well, as far as you know, and also for Death Arms, as far as you know,
I don't
the
know who's
reason
doing that, but stop. Okay.
as far, as far as you know, the 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 condition of loyalty, if Kib was locked up during the raid to take the station over, there's no way he could have betrayed the captain or
We have
Captain
footage of
Hurley.
that, don't we? Or at least some.
There's probably footage. Yeah. Like
All
it's and it's an easy enough and Philip, it's an easy enough thing for you guys to prove that Kib couldn't have helped out with the raid because he was locked up. You know, there's even footage of the argument where Commander Hurlig put him in the brig for complaining too much about not having the supplies. So that's an
Well,
easy.
if that's the case, we'll bring it up on comms and see if that does anything for this bounty hunter.
Yeah. So they're able to show you proof that the whatever claims that the Savage Circle have against Kib about loyalty are generally pretty unfounded.
Okay, and I'm gonna ask if I can take this footage to show to the Savage Circle and see if I can still get the money.
You are muted again, sir.
See, I told you it was your turn to do this to me. I said, we'll gladly give you a copy of the footage, but as far as it goes, if you think the Savage Circle is going to pay you because you proved to them that they were wrong, that's probably not going to happen. But should you not get paid, come back
They
to our
might
space
shoot you in
station.
the
I
head.
can probably. Kid, shut up, or I'm going to have Haas shoot you with its new gun.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to keep you here. Now just zip it. But should they not pay you after you show them this footage, come back here and I'll have a job for you and I will pay you just as well as I pay Ha. Just as well as I pay Kib. Sorry, Ha. You still don't get any money.
Oh, please. If they don't pay me, I come back. You better pay me more than you're paying this little shrimp.
Oh no, he can fix the space station. After all, I just finally got through the footage here of him saving you and a little human child. So it's fuzzy. I mean, I show you and I'm like, it's like, man, that's like 720p. So after we get done with all of this, I need you, Kib, to fix this camera again.
Yeah, if I connect what I've done down here to the stuff up there, it'll work better. The,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it's connection issues, and it takes a little finagling, and this wire goes there, and that wire goes there, and then this button pushed and that button, and it'll work and go a little bit better. We got lights down here because when I first came down here, it was like super dark and no cameras, and then I got there. I don't even know why I didn't take the tunnels in the first place, but hey, it sounded like a fun idea just to walk down the hallway. But then I was like, why am I not taking the tunnels? So I took the tunnels, and
so,
I went into the tunnels, and then I fixed it.
bounty hunter whose name I haven't learned because you haven't told me. That's all fine. Do you currently have a ship to get back and forth? Do you need a ride? Would you like to see our corpse recycler?
Wait, I thought that was promised to me. Never mind.
If you want to go on the corpse recycler, we'll let that happen. But
I gotta
honestly,
fix the station though.
I
I'm
know
getting it back.
that's why you're not going to the corpse
Good.
recycler. But I'm still waiting for Soul Demon to respond.
Unfortunately, I will need your loser's help.
Okay, follow me to this room. Please climb up this ladder and through this hole, and you'll be right at the space shuttle.
Um, it's a small hole. I'm not gonna fit there. I'm
It's
kind of.
not that small. It fits at least medium-sized creatures. I mean, I can put a large-sized creature in there too. It just takes 2 trips. If you're going to insult us, I'm going to insult you back. That's how this works. I come from a mob family. I'm not afraid of you, no matter how badass you are. And I've offered to help you. So I don't see what the problem is. I'm still working off this 20 diplomacy, by the way. If you'd like me to make another gesture, let me know, because this one will be a 1, and then it'll be fun. So here's the deal. I will help you out of the kindness of my black heart. But if you insult me, it is way more likely that I make a phone call to your guild and a phone call. I'm sorry. I send a wave to your guild complaining about your inability to follow basic protocol that every single bounty hunter has to actually go through. Did you even start with his rights when you got into this room? That's what I thought.
I
well,
have rights. Sweet.
considering the bounty that came from the bounty was being sponsored by pirates, the whole
Well,
rights thing doesn't apply as much. Bounty hunters don't just work for law enforcement. Sometimes they work for the underworld. It seems
that
like
is
the guy
true.
is.
You could have read him as wrongs then, and then that would have been okay too.
I mean, in a situation where a bounty hunter is working for somebody under the table, like reading their rights is significantly less a thing. So it's more about this is what you're accused of. This is what I'm bringing you back for. This is who's going to be dealing with this with you over this. You know,
Right.
but
And Soul Demon, I'm not actually trying to start a fight with this character as far as it goes. Right now, that is not my deal. I don't feel that I need to start fights here on the
right,
space station that
right,
is just a tin can floating in space. Uh, you already almost got sucked out once, and any of your projectile weapons will put a hole big enough in the side of this place to suck us all out. So, I don't want to fight you. Korad doesn't want to fight you. Kib doesn't want to fight you. We're here to help.
Yeah, my character's normally all just like pissy and wants to fight everyone he sees.
Oh, well, if that's the case, we have to go upstairs. There's a room for that.
well, there's a there like going at this point, like you're still standing in this cargo bay and whatnot, but yeah, like
Right,
these people have arranged to help you get back to, to try to present this evidence to the Savage Circle or someone that represents them.
right. And as far as it goes, while this whole conversation has gone on, Kib and I have been in constant flanking position, and Korad, of course, is in a third spot, which gives him flanking. So, technically, we're prepared.
Yeah,
I mean, none of us have drawn weapons. The only one that has a gun out right now should be.
well,
Oh,
you've done.
you said your name was Death Arms. That was what it was. It's been a
Yes,
long time since you've been to the Adari, huh?
yes, it has.
That makes a lot of sense. Very well. So, I have stated my piece in my semi angry voice so that you know that we are serious. We are willing to help you, in order to keep our friend with us. If you decide that you still want to try to take our friend after we have shown you that there's evidence that this man hasn't done the crime that was told, it's a whole different set of circumstances, and there will be consequences for us all. And I abhor. Right? No, that's not right. I hate to fight. I have better things I could be doing than trying to kill someone this way.
I doubt any of you could even come close to killing me.
And I understand that that is your complete and utter thought in this, and we don't want to try and be wrong. So, why don't you find your stuff, and we'll get you to where you need to go, and you can make decisions from there.
Fine. And then because like, I mean, my knife is still in the ground. I haven't pulled it up yet. I walk over to my knife, pull it up out of the ground, flip it, catch it by the handle, and put it back in its sheath.
All right. Awesome. So,
I look at Korad and I say in Infernal, I bet this guy walks against the wind.
yeah. There's a
Notice how my Infernal voice got super deep?
nice.
Good try.
Well, we have to speak Infernal more often. That's why I'm trying.
So I think I think this is a point where we can maybe do a little bit of a time jump. If Death Arms is going to go contact somebody from the Savage Circle and offer proof, and you guys have some things, some downtime activities like a recruitment drive that you could be doing.
All right. Before we start downtime activities, I talked to
Crinville.
his brother, Crenville. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Death Arms, maybe while you're gathering your stuff around and whatnot, like you kind of like you're starting to get the notion, like now that you've had a chance to look around some, that while this place is a bit of a shit heap, the bigger problem is you see that their security is, well, you've seen better security, like and they, from what it seems like to you, these people genuinely are just trying to conduct business here. And you're starting to hear that they have aborts, booze, and bitches here, and they're putting a casino in. This place seems like it's kind of seems like it might be ripe for somebody who, with your skills in bounty hunting, to make money.
After all, this is a part of the galaxy that people come to hide.
Yep. This is very much a place where, but yeah, there's a, but we're gonna, while you're doing that, I want to cut over to the meeting with Crinville real quick here, and we'll have, and what do you guys?
Because you haven't had nearly as much time, you can start this meeting, and I'll help you if you need me.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
So I think, yeah. So first of all, where do you guys hold this meeting? Is it just in your office, or is there?
You were headed to the med bay to fix the thing
Oh,
when
okay.
all of
Yeah.
this
All right.
went down. So
Right.
he's supposed to meet us there.
All right.
Probably wondering
So,
where we're at.
yeah. So you get there. You get there, and he has just left, having waited for you guys for some time.
We'll call him on his comms.
Yeah, and he'll come back. And he's like, but he shows up, and he's in his, sort of armored business suit, and his tie is loose as normal. But and he kind of walks in. He looks around. He's like, so. Things are coming around kind of nicely, it appears. The casino goes, well, first things first, Isaac sends his regards. He says, he's going to try to make it out here for a personal visit as soon as he can. He's got a little bit of business that's kept him, well, busy. He says, but he did want me to express that he'd like to put in a bid as a for the Grimbuckle Alliance or the Grimbuckle Syndicate to run that casino you're building here. I'm sure there's a more formal way he would have liked me to approach it, but yeah, he kind of wanted to. He kind of wanted to put our foot in the door for that. Also sends his regards. It says I reported on everything that's kind of going down here. He says he's kind of pleased about that. Says he's willing to leave a contingent of folks out here to help run the station until you're up to par where you want to be. As far as the casino goes, if you're willing to, if you're say yes to the offer, they'll send a group. I'll send a message back, and they'll send people out here to start getting things running and working. This is, of course, naming rights are still yours. It's your station. Far be it from us to step on the toes there. Just, but kind of wanted to make sure that we that I touched base with you on that. Isaac said it was real important he makes it back out here. He's got a real interest in what you guys are doing here. Says he thinks there's a lot of profit to be had out this way. He's usually right. And he kind of waits. And he kind of pauses, waits for a response from you guys.
I'm drawing a blank right now.
I thought Kurad was going to take this one.
Yeah, Kurad was going to take this one, but he's drawing a blank at the moment for some reason.
Okay. Well, earlier when we discussed it, we were down for that because we owe them a favor already.
Ah, right. Yes. What's the name of the group again?
The Grimbuckle Syndicate.
Yes, the Grimbuckle Syndicate. Yes, I believe we can let them run the casino. It's the least we could do.
He nods. He says, "I'll send the message out. They'll have staff. They'll be sending out some light freighters with staff. They'll obviously have it trickle in a bit, and I'm sure he's going to send me a bit of money to hire a little additional help from the locals around the area, such as they are." He says, but he goes, I'm glad. He goes, I'm glad we were able to have a talk. I was able to catch you guys. Says, by the way, goes, I hope you guys have a plan for tightening up security. I mean, I'm not privy to what you guys talked about with your own staff, so but I can tell you, whoo, is that he says he says between the fight between the kobold and the gnoll, the fight between the gnoll and his captain, and he goes, see with the influx of people and business, because you're going to want to have something going on here for that. He goes, anyway, yeah, it was a good deal. He's like, he reaches out to shake your hand.
Oh, I definitely reach out and shake his hand back.
He's like, he's like, this is so far proven to be a pleasant business venture, better than the normal assignments that my brother sends me on. He's like, well, with that all settled, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'll go take a look around. Maybe get a few pictures to send, few hollow images to send to Isaac, so he knows so he can start putting the plan together on to how to run the place. He goes, if you need me, you know what, you got my comms.
Yep, we've already used it once. Sorry we were late, but there's a whole thing with the bounty hunter and Kip's wanted for a crime he didn't commit, blah blah blah. You know it happens all the time.
He kind of nods. He chuckles at that. He goes, you don't have to tell me. Any situation with a bounty hunter is a entanglement I'd rather. He was just, you sure he was just looking for Kib then, huh?
He didn't mention any other marks, but he's also not following basic bounty hunter protocol. He apparently is
That's
a
troubling.
badass, and I use air quotes.
He goes,
You know,
yeah,
he's the kind of guy that tries to walk against the wind.
yeah. He goes, yeah, we've employed a few people like that. Usually the Grimbuckle Syndicate employs people like that when we need maximum deniability of whatever they're doing.
Mm.
They fuck
Well,
up, they get caught, they do anything wrong, we can say we don't know who they are. It's their word against ours, and one loner who doesn't have many friends generally is going to lose that argument against a very well organized space mafia. So,
but either way, we agreed to help him out a little bit. And if all goes well, he'll either stay away or he'll come back and be on our payroll.
well, let's hope for the latter then, I guess. Better to have somebody that's useful than somebody that's thorn in your side. And he's
That
like,
reminds me, while we're talking about this, I get on my comms and I'm like, Ninvis, come to the office. Or sorry, come to the med bay, because that's where we're at.
yeah.
My apologies for that, but I realize since we've been gone for 2 weeks and security has been mentioned multiple times at this point by multiple people, I need to have Ninvis at least try to do some stuff for us.
All right. Yeah, Ninvis. It takes a few minutes for Ninvis to get there.
Okay. So, anyway, we appreciate you stopping by as always. We always appreciate the help that you and your brother have provided us. And we look forward to a long lasting business association. And
He's like,
I curtsy.
yeah. And he nods and gives a bow of the head. He's like, and it's that kind of bow of the head that speaks of, somebody who's been a part of an organized crime for a long time, who, paying respect, that sort of thing. That
Right, his eyes never like break contact with my eyes. Same with me. Well,
yeah,
it's beautiful. I get it.
And he takes his leave. Ninvis does eventually show up.
Okay. By the way, was that 24 good enough to fix his shield thing?
Yeah, you guys are able to get the quarantine shielding back up.
All right, well, that was what we did while we were waiting on Nimbus then.
Your quarantine shielding is good at keeping pathogens, contained and whatnot. It's not that Noel wasn't strong; he was very strong, but it takes significantly less effort to break through the shielding the shielding that you had up than it would for one that was actually designed for physical combat. It's a different kind of shielding. But yeah, Ninvis arrives and says, like, "Hey, boss." He was, "Hey, did you know that they put sports, booze, and bitches down there in the lower levels?" He's
yes.
Like,
remember when we first arrived, I told you we were getting aborts, booze, and bitches, Nimbus.
He goes, "Oh yeah." It's a really cool place. He goes, "I'm gonna go down there later tonight. I hear there's he goes, I hear that there's maybe gonna be some live music. I don't know how true that is. I don't know who might
It'll be someone local. You might enjoy them. Now, I need you to take a deep breath.
Okay.
Because she's off for the next 2 days, I need you to start doing a population count. Do your best to get their name and what species they are, and ask all of them if they're interested in jobs, even though me and Kurad and even Kib are going to be trying to recruit some people this week, so you have more help. Okay? But get me a count of how many people are on the station. Keep that count accurate as people come in and go off, and we'll do our best. And also, not today, because I want them to suffer just a little bit so that they know that they messed up. But tomorrow we will deal with the children in the brig. Okay?
Okay.
All right. When you get off tonight, enjoy boards, brews, and bitches. Don't end up as one of the dead bodies in front of the door, okay?
He goes, yeah, I really hadn't planned on doing that. I mean,
It can happen. It's aborts.
he goes, he's like, he goes, okay.
All right? Parad,
Yes.
I think it's time. There are enough random people here today. We might be able to recruit people for the organization.
All right. So here's where we get into the rules here on stuff. So if you want to assign Ninvas to do that, you're going to need to do that. You're going to one of you is going to have to use the delegate work
Right.
to make
I do
Ninvas do
not.
recruiting.
I do not want Nimbus to actually do recruiting. It was
Okay.
just something I would have
Just
said to him.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
He's just letting know people that we are recruiting. So basically, he's the live action pamphlet as he's collecting names and trying to get everybody, especially anyone that's running from us. We need not full credentials because, most of them don't have full credentials, but we definitely want to do, a picture of them, even if we have to catch it fucking, through one of the cameras. Their first and last name, their species, and which room they're staying in.
all right. So
Right?
membership drive is a multi-day activity. It's going to be a week-long activity. Each of you can do membership drive if you so choose. It's going to
And we
be
should.
it's going to be a DC diplomacy check with a DC equal to 10 plus 1.5 times your organization's level, which at this point is 2, so 3, so a DC of 13. Diplomacy DC 13, and if you guys want to make your checks, you can go ahead and do that.
I will make mine shortly. I want to make sure that I'm
Kib, you
getting
are not
everything.
able to recruit anybody.
Dear God, Kib. Yay.
Kured, you managed to recruit somebody. You get so you add one more to your either one more to your followers or one more to your members, your choice. Your followers are sort of like your low-end grunts that don't have a lot of loyalty to you, but they'll do their job. Members are people who have a reasonable amount of loyalty and will do the job.
All right, say that part again because I was busy trying to see if I had any more bonuses to that.
Okay, so both Philip and Kurad, you both each managed to recruit one more person. You get to choose whether that person is a member or a follower.
All
Your
right.
followers are
Members
probably
are Ninvis and
Colovian,
Colovian.
yeah, so
Okay.
far.
Well, I'm going to make a member.
Okay, so add one to
Brad,
your
what do
member.
you think?
Yeah, I think a member as well.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys have added 2 more members. You're up to the maximum amount of members you can have. So but you can add those 2 members to your list on your Lichdom organization. So you have 2 more followers, which brings your total up to 14 people. So
Um, I am changing those numbers now. And
You still have your 10 followers, and now you have 4 members.
yes,
And they're all like 1/3 CR at max.
right.
However, if you haven't changed this yet, your organization's power level is +7. So when your organization makes a check, it gets a +7 to its check.
Oh no, I had not.
So
That has changed now as well. All right, I know that they don't have names yet because you haven't got to name them, but I'm just going to add member 1 and member 2 for the moment, or 3 and 4 actually.
yeah, I mean, and naming them is up to you guys. They're only a 1/3 CR, so they're just But yeah, after about a week's worth of work, both you and both Philip and Kurad managed to convince somebody to join, somebody else to join.
Does
Kib,
that mean we get to pick their
you are
species as well?
unacceptable. As long as they're a relatively common spacefaring race, don't get too crazy.
No, I'm not going to recruit a gray, bro. I told you that. I mean, yes, it'd be nice to have someone that smart, but I'm not going to do it. Brian, you come up with an idea. We'll come back to these two next time.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And where we are at here is we're at about 11:23, so it's probably about time to get everybody mail me your Player's Choice Award. For you, Soul Demon. In my campaigns, I do a Player's Choice Award, which means at the end of the session, everybody mails me their choice of who they thought did the best job of immersing them in the game, like who did the best role playing game. You send it to me privately, so you don't so for privacy's sake, and I will tally them, and somebody will get extra experience points. Whoever wins that, not a bunch, but a little bit. It's your way to reward each other. With that said, let's go ahead and get the sign off started. And Psychopathic, you want to go first?
Sure. All right. I'm Psych. Scott, something. I don't know. Pick a name. I answered to it most times. My brain ain't broken. All right. So I played Kip, and I saved 4 people from dying. I almost died too. I was one of the 4. Hey, that was fun. Anyways, what else am I in? My brain just shut off.
Land of
Lands of
Liberia.
Iberia. Yes, I'm in that too. And I'm everybody's little cat friend that wanders around. And now I'm a bigger cat. I like being a cat. It's fun. And that's all I'm in at this point. Yay.
All right. Brian, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Brian C. I play Kurad today, the lovely doctor of this installation. Gotta figure out who this new person is I recruited. That's gonna be interesting and fun. But yeah, you can also find me on Saturdays running the Land of Iberia. Where the party finally got out of their dungeon and are now venturing farther into the lands of Iberia. They're now entering a forest and they're trying to negotiate with a bunch of kobolds. This is either going to go good, bad, or completely sideways. Not sure yet, but tune in on Saturdays to find out.
Awesome. Cool. And that leaves Philip.
Hi, this is David the Gnome. Tonight I played Philip Defoe. And you saw me try to use diplomacy to its finest degree with a PC, which is really hard in this game. But I think I did pretty good at persuading him not to take Kib. But for $6,000, we were really tempted to turn him in ourselves. Um, Past that, this is the only thing I play in right now too. That may or may not change soon. We'll see. And with that, on to the next person.
All right. Soul Demon, yeah, sign off here. You've seen how it's done.
Hello, I am Soul Demon. I played Death Arms. He has like a ginormous long name. I'm not gonna even try to announce it. But I am also in Lands of Iberia. I know I haven't been there in a while because work and then personal stuff, but I promise you I will be there. I don't know when, but I will be there. I promise you.
All right. Well, I guess that brings it back to me. Well, first of all, we'll get the bookkeeping out of the way. So tonight's player's choice of winner is Kib. Kib, give yourself an extra 50 XP. For the so we have our newest player here on Monday nights. We're gonna develop out here. But with that said, I am
Wait,
the
before you do that,
what?
you did tell Kib about his extra experience. You didn't actually say the experience. And if there is no experience, that's fine. Just say no experience.
Yeah, there's no not for this session.
Okay, that's fine.
He is
Continue.
arguably arguably there was no combat.
Arguably, I will agree. Continue.
So with that said, I am Najesta King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for Freewheel Station. I have been considering doing something on Sunday nights, but nothing has coalesced necessarily just yet. I have some ideas I'm picking at. Stay tuned. I may announce something at some point. But outside of that, I think we are. Let me see here. Oh, yeah. I think we're just about ready to get out of here. Make sure our stream host is
Guru?
our stream guru is on it.
They always are. That's why I love him.
Alright, so with that said, let's bring out the dragon and we'll get out of here.
Bring out the
Bring out
dragon!
the dragon!
I got the dragon.
La 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 la. If we're clear, we're not clear, we don't know. So I'll sing this song until. Just it, what do we know? We know nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
One time, on Freewheel Station, Kib lost his favorite wrench. That's important, you guys. Remember that. There's not like a reward for it, but he'll do a dance if we get it back for him.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be better than his normal dances. It'll be, my brain.
But at this point, you could just make a new wrench. We have a room for that.
But
Yeah, but I want to see him do a little dance, like either like a jitterbug or a cha-cha type thing.
How about the mashed potato? Can you imagine a isekai doing that? Or the twist? How many times does he step on his tail before he falls down?
Let's see. You know what though? Here's the real bonus material here.